Good morning. Lecture day. You mean MT Live Day. MT Live Day. Here's the link you can sign up for. Oh, you should hear me on YouTube there, you plunk. You can sign up for the next one too. Anyway, what an epic battle that's going on here. Topic today is momentum moves and continuation patterns. It's worth missing tennis, Deb. Seriously. Okay. So what crazy price action? Back and forth, back and forth. And I mentioned this last night when we were getting to the close about this potential, which seemed rather less likely, but we talked about this Christmas tree kind of pattern, and I've seen them go on for a while. I don't think this one's going to last much longer. At what point does it break down or break out? Charts, yes. I think my brain damage with this chart stuff. I mean, I know I can look at them, but I know you want to look at them too. Anyway, thank you for the reminder, because I could talk for 20 minutes and never realize. All right. Good morning there, YouTube, Fabio and Glenn and everybody. Andrew. So this whip back and forth, back and forth. And what we've had going on here is just bottom of the range, slow down, bore us to death throughout the day, or the next day rip up to the top of the range. Yesterday was sideways at the top of the range. Now we're back down to the bottom of the range, but it's gapping. And crude oil has to drop. Well, we'll take a look at it. I don't think it's quite at $80 yet. So this whip back and forth. So how do we analyze this other than to say this is a picture of uncertainty, which it is. When prices whip back and forth like this, and we don't see the gaps because it's a futures chart 24 hours, large gaps, tails, back and forth like this is a picture of uncertainty. So traders, funds, whatever, they're just trading between the reference points that are to the left, and creating voids as it goes up and down, which opens up the door to, hey, if I don't continue, to buy after I run it all the way up with this momentum move into resistance, if I can't continue to buy or enough people buy the dip, it's going back down. And that's what has been happening the last few days, where it's down and up and down and up and back and forth. A descending triangle. Forget about triangles. Forget about diagonal lines. It's just brain damage. Our analysis is done horizontally. Look to the left. Forget about angles, okay? You can recognize that the lows here, are getting lower. They're getting a little less lower looking at the futures. All right, okay, we'll say it's a little less higher. But what in reality, it's got nothing to do with drawing lines and triangles. As wide as these ranges are, and thank you for bringing up that point, so I can expand on the thought as to how you should be looking at this, is that this rather small contraction in range is, and we don't know if it is, reached this inflection point yet, but it's getting closer to an inflection point. We don't know how today is going to end, right? It's just beginning. So it could be a higher low. It could close up here, which would then tell us, hey, it should go up since it's clearing resistance and it was able to close up there. However, if it closes down here, well, then it should go lower. Everything we do with MTS is common sense. And when you remove all the squiggly lines, the Ichikumi clouds and MACDs and ultimate oscillators and all that stuff, things get clearer. So we had a failure on the weekly chart and it went down, which says, okay, it should go lower, which it is, but it hasn't broke the prior week's low yet. Now, where's it going to go? Well, we just look to the left and say, well, where's the next stopping point? That makes sense. Will it stop there and turn? Ultimately, I don't know. Maybe it's got to come all the way down here, which looks reasonable, just based on this move and failure that it could come somewhere down here. That's reasonable. As we look at the daily chart, we look for power bars. This is a power bar, and that's the biggest bar by far on the way down. And so now, just like these moves intraday are creating voids, this has made a monster void. And our factory work says, okay, if this is truly weak, it's going to stay in the lower half, give or take. We just give it an arbitrary whatever. And it is. And when we say the tails can go up there, the bodies, if it's truly bearish, are going to stay in the lower third. So not only is it staying in the lower third, every time it gets slightly in here, the sellers are there waiting there aggressively, even though they can't push it down intraday, and it creates that base, as we've seen yesterday and the prior days when it was down. Well, it's just trading between this range, so everybody's just playing ping pong here, pretty much. So which way is it going to go? I don't know. We'll see which way. Today it's grinding up here. It's shifted up into a slight uptrend on the 5. It does have a void to go up here. It's cleared this little area right there. So maybe it can go higher. There was some increase in selling, different than what has been occurring since early this morning. So a little bit more selling pressure there. So no one's willing to commit. And that brings us back to the word uncertainty. They're not willing to commit, but they're willing to trade. And when it gets to a reference point, it's like, let's back off. Let's see, who else really wants to play. And so far, no one's willing to commit. I'm just waiting for some news or whatever it might be. You see how I shifted this over? All of you that are new, read that, write it down on a piece of paper and read it about 100 times at the end of the day today. Just look to the left. Right? So down here, it came down to 427, gapped all the way down here, right, from this green bar, gapping down under this green bar. And as it ended yesterday, it backed off a little bit. And let's change this to a, I don't know why I have this on the daily weekly chart there. And anyway, this is what we looked at in the green room yesterday. Just up and down, back and forth. Void down, holding, void up, holding. Now it's gapping down here. So a little bit different than the other days where it had minor gaps, like minor gap and down, minor gap and up. Now it's gapping all the way down here. So, all right, there's support down there. There should be buyers, and we see that they are. But everybody's probably waiting for the open to see, hey, how far can this thing go? Well, if it doesn't get very far, say by 10 o'clock or 10:30, and it's jiggling down here, that's going to open up the door to look out below. I don't know if there's any news coming out around that time, but that's the thought process. It's down here at support. Sometimes I use the term, it's filling the tank. It's just jiggling back and forth. Another concept that I shared with you on Monday was that big moves do not start from extreme ranges and volatility. They may end the move, but the big move happens after the contraction in ranges and volatility. And so this is the type of igniting bar. We don't have any large range ending bars here. What we have is a mess going back and forth. And so whether this can still bounce, which is what we were looking for at the beginning of the week, a bounce and then a next leg down, it hasn't been able to bounce. So unless some miracle happens from this gap down, right, it should go lower. Okay, and lower to where? You look to the left, right? Forget the fib lines, forget the trader pivot lines, forget the GAN lines, forget your Ichikumi cloud. Just simply look to the left and see where the prior swing lows are. And it may stop at a low related to the NASDAQ, meaning sometimes it doesn't stop exactly on the S&P or on the NASDAQ, but another market will hit some support, and that'll have an effect. So this has been weaker, and the way it looks now, if this continues lower, I got to think the 200 MA could be a magnet. It's on a big whole number, 14,000. I look to the left and there's a swing low there. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. If it gets above the high of that big red bar, well, my opinion will change. More common sense. All right, SPX. We see where S&Ps are. Let me go back here and get done here. Just whipping back and forth within a range. We got these lows. If it drops, I would say that's the next move lower, which is, what's possible today, which would make sense. That, so that would be a pretty big move for a day down there, give or take. 4,200 SPX. Let's say down here's the swing low. And 4,250 would be in play for a short period of time around there. And 4,200 way down there, there's some juice. And it's a giant whole number. And those things are changing here. Numbers are changing. I don't know what it is now, but I don't know if you got a quote. All my quotes went blank. I guess they're refreshing here. Anyway, look down here, under 4,250 for premium, maybe 42 and a quarter, somewhere down here for SPX put spread. So it's going to open down. The premiums are going to get jacked. Maybe it continues lower for the first 30 minutes. Reassess any kind of a reversal. You got that time erosion thing that comes into play. So McGraw's telling me there isn't much juice there at 4,200 to 4,225. So the downside is going to be where the juice is with this gap down. If there's something on the upside, like up above here, that should be safe. 225, 4,225 has juice. Thank you, McGraw. So you got this line of defense, which is gapping down to kind of. You've got this line here. There's no moving averages in between the 100, the 200s down below. So get as far away as you can where there's some premium, and those levels down there, I believe, will be okay. All right. We looked at the Qs. Speed it up here. Same story going on here. So far, just an inside day, chopping around. Hasn't been able to bounce other than these intraday bounces, and it's going to be turning its way up here for the moment. And Russell, just a mess. Just a mess. Intraday, this kind of mess is tradable, at the appropriate time. Yesterday afternoon was just sideways, the frog in the blender. If you can't recognize that just by looking at overlapping bars or a couple of moving averages just wrapped around the bodies of candles like that, you need to sharpen your eyes. You're getting chopped up in that kind of a mess. There's more overlapping bars and uncertainty. It's been holding down here. Look to the left. Where's the next stopping points? Simple Bitcoin up here. Whoa. Big move. Greater than 100% retracement. It's going to stall.
Hey, maybe that's why our hut is moving. Look at HUT. I just sent an adjustment.
Nice. Yeah. Almost to $11 up near the high there.
We're going to sell half 5-minute low, or a third 5-minute low I just posted.
Cool. All right. Been saying $80 for the last week or two. It's here. It's within striking distance. Look at the pattern there, folks. If you want to be, two things. If you're a nimble scalper, that kind of pattern is shortable. It's still in an uptrend, and you see where support is. But this kind of what we call a shock pattern, if you are quick draw, we have quick draw in the room, but if you are a quick draw McGraw and you see breakout failure like that with wider range bars, share size appropriately, hit the bid, it'll go down to the next support, take your money or take half or whatever however you want to manage it. But that kind of pattern, we talk about the psychology of patterns, was a decent little pullback, came down to the pivot to the left, broke out, bam. They got nailed. Right? And if they weren't thinking $80 and this is up 3 days in a row, well, lesson learned. Gold, still a mess. Silver, that breakdown failure. So it's still trying to create that downside shakeout pattern. So far, so good. Needs a little bit more time. And I'll talk about the dollar. Dollar's going up. I'll try and dig up some stuff from my past days about dollar guidelines as it goes up and down to share tomorrow. And transports, we always look. What a mess. And, the airlines have been trying to hold. I don't know where they are here this morning, but, they're big improvement in there, $20.60. Not doing so good today. Doing so good today. Internals should be getting there. No, breath is damn. It's still neutral. We need some pain, Tony. We need some pain. Today's gap down is going to help. Let's hope it drops. Sentiment has been improving. I really would love to see some blood in the street here. Hey, we're in October. Right? Let's have some fun. We want to see some blood in the street. I want to see this sentiment. Hasn't been down here at 1.2 in a long, long time. Breath down here under minus 200. And then we're just going to look for the turn to begin to happen. And I'm going to say, put your toe in the water, buy some, big stop, look for the contraction in volatility and ranges to add. And we look for the Christmas rally to start.
And sell expensive out of the money puts.
I'll leave that to you, Mr. Option Guru.
Oh, you and I love doing it on mini crashes because we can go like $15 out.
All right. All right. All yours.
All right. Yeah, talking about jets, Goldman downgraded the whole sector. In particular, let's see, I think it was JetBlue and American. I don't know why they're picking on JetBlue. They're one of the better ones. So now it's range bound again, but it's range bound after breaking out. AAL, just fundamentally, I personally hate those airlines, so I don't care about them. All right, so opens here. So HUT is a positive. Amazon, we did a put spread yesterday. Stop yesterday's or 2 days ago's low. So Monday's low. It's holding so far. Netflix. I think we took our money. Yeah, we took our money yesterday. Similar, whenever we look at jets, we kind of look at cruise ships too. And Norwegian, I saw an article in the journal today saying that by year end, they're going to have 75% of their ships operational, and by next April, 100%. Gapping down here with the market, but that's good, I guess, right? Oh, our Mara also going up with Bitcoin. Wow, Bitcoin up 2,700 now. Wow, that is a big move. Wow. Uh, so Mara, here, let me adjust Mara here too. Give me 1 second. Boeing, we have a put spread that's gapping down. All right. Move stop 30-minute low. We might get filled. I had said bid 2 cents for the back half. So we'll just do this 30-minute low. It's gonna be less than 10, so it's gonna be a great profit. All right, I'm gonna continue. Any, A-N-Y. I think this was a Reddit toy, right? I don't like that every time it had a wide range bar, it got smacked right down. So what we really need is a closing something something bar and then see if it has follow through the next day. That would be the recipe I would like to see on any. LMFA, there's a something something bar, pre-market, we'll come back to you. BTBT is, I know this one's a SPAC, but the way it's moving here right now, is this related to Bitcoin? Because it's kind of moving like pre-market Bitcoin. This BitW I was keeping an eye on yesterday. It's making the turn. It's a Bitcoin thing. Manu is doing this is Manchester United. It's doing a secondary offering, so getting whacked. I remember it back here. It was earnings right around here, and then I stopped watching it. We'll come back to you. REAL, I see nothing. There's the JetBlue we talked about. STZ. Bottoming pattern. It needs to get above last week's high. RPM. Bottoming pattern. You know, it's working on a higher low right here. We'll come back to it. IDT, bottoming pattern again. Did I lose my pre-market? Yeah, no, there's pre-market. AYI. Wow, that's a big gap. Either 180 to 185. We'll come back to you. ENPH is a bear 1, 2, 3. It's gapping under it, but that's worth watching. I'll put that right here. Pelletier, 25 bucks. That looks good. We'll see what happens there. Put you down here. They got a contract from the Army. PTR, it looks like an ADR. I don't like ADRs. ITRI, we posted this as a short yesterday, but it looks like it's gapping too much. I'll keep an eye on that at the open. MATX, we posted over yesterday's high, a put spread. Oh, RPMX juice. All right, yeah, let's keep an eye on it, sure. BRP over yesterday's high. NWSA, yesterday's high. I already set an alarm at 24. That looks good, a little bull flag. See, now that's textbook bull flag. Here's my flagpole. Here's my 30-degree trading range retracement. And then the final, you got a price void, and the final step is, all right, well, give me a place to get on board. And the answer is yesterday's high. So that I like. Run, Rita mentioned this yesterday as a short, and I liked it all time frames, so maybe 30-minute low. These AMC GMEs have just been doing nothing. That was a nice buy setup here that we missed on Friday. Coin is up with Bitcoin, obviously. Hey, ETHE. Oh no, that's Ether. Never mind. I always mix that up with EHTH. This one's a go over Monday's high. Let me make sure I have an alarm. Yes, I do. All right, less than a minute to go. I'm kind of done right now. Didn't have that many earnings. So I like the Pelletier. Any EMPH is a short. Yeah, I wonder what got Bitcoin going. Look at marijuana. Remember yesterday? And I don't know what it is, folks, but over 90% of the time, when marijuana starts off looking good, the end of the day, it's crap. I don't get it. But there's another example. A Lulu stopped yesterday, detective, break even. But yeah, if you're in it, yeah, hold off. 30-minute low. It's extended on support. So yeah, hold off. But yeah, that stopped out. Yesterday, I moved it the tighter of 30-minute low or break even, and both of them hit, either one. Yeah, Amazon 30-minute low. Well, no. Amazon is a regular stop, which is Monday's low, because we only remove stops when it gaps under it or over. All right, so shoot, this ITRI, I had too tight of a stop yesterday, and now the gap's too big, so we got to hold off on it.